Hello everyone, this is Nathan P. Butler, and this video is to announce that the Star Wars Timeline Gold number 55, its 84th release, is now available. We're talking about the 20th anniversary edition of the Star Wars Timeline Project, now known as the Star Wars Timeline Gold, which you can find at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. This time, over 200 pages of new material has been added for this 2017 annual release. So we have our story group canon document. This is all going to be about the new canon as relaunched around 2014 or so, including things like The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and so forth, Rebels. This is the Star Wars Timeline Gold's story group canon timeline, or story group canon document, clocking in at 560 pages for this edition. Now, alongside that, of course, you'll find 3 documents that give us the Legends continuity, the Star Wars continuity as it existed prior to that reboot, which does still grow a little bit from time to time, but not by very much at this point. Now, again, that's covered in 3 different documents because it is a huge continuity, and we start with the Legends Volume 1 chronology document, which covers up to right before A New Hope, except the Clone Wars. More on the Clone Wars in a moment. This baby clocks in at 1,018 pages. Then picking up with A New Hope and moving all the way through the end of that continuity, we have the Legends Timeline Volume 2. This one clocks in at 927 pages. Now, of course, for Legends, the Clone Wars continuity is pretty much a mess. Or as Luke Skywalker said, the chronology of the Clone Wars is confusing. You got that right. Why? Because from 2002 to 2008, the different licensees put together their version of the Clone Wars as allowed by Lucasfilm. And then Lucas came in 2008 with the Clone Wars television series and pretty much overwrote it, smashed through it. But no, we were told over and over again, don't worry, it's all meant to fit together. We'll give you an explanation of how it fits together once the series ends. And then they never did. So basically we're in a situation where we have 2 conflicting versions of the Clone Wars from that era for the Legends continuity that really has no way to fit together just yet. So, to make use of the Clone Wars still, we have the Legends Clone Wars supplement. This has 2 timelines in it, essentially the original version and the TV-based version of the Clone Wars, so those following the Legends continuity can see how those fit together and are internally consistent to each other, even if not really consistent when clashing with each other. This document runs a good 266 pages. Then finally we have the last document of the 5, which is the Appendices file. This is stuff like a publication order timeline. Stats about different releases of the Star Wars Timeline Gold and its previous incarnations like 7.x all the way back to 1.0. Actually has version 0 and 1.0 included in here because they are so small. This also includes stuff like a primer for those trying to read the Legends continuity and more. This document clocks in at 468 pages. So yes, if you add all those up, that is 3,239 pages of Star Wars goodness, making this the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere. Anywhere. Have to emphasize that. That's in italics and boldface and underline, folks. And that is 208 pages beyond last year's edition. So, be sure to check it out. It is, again, the Star Wars Timeline Gold number 55, the 84th overall release, here on its 20th, I kid you not, anniversary. I started this thing when I was a senior in high school in 1997, at least as far as public releases went. I actually started putting it together without any public releases about a year to 2 years before that. But October 17th, 1997 is what we celebrate as its launch date, and here we are, October 17th of 2017, 20 years later, and the project is still going and enormous. So if you're looking for Star Wars chronology information, this is your one-stop shop to find it. Again, at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. And hey, while you're at it, you might also check out my book, which you can find on Amazon.com, which is A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases. A nice guide there for those of you who are into the home video side of collecting. And on a somewhat unrelated note, but something you might find interesting, my Patreon is also launching on the same day as this edition of the Star Wars Timeline Gold. You can find that at patreon.com/NathanPButler for all the details. Thanks for watching, and there'll be another video posted very soon after this one that will actually be a Q&A based on some questions that fans of the Star Wars Timeline Gold have asked about it. which will show up both on Facebook and on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this year's edition of the Star Wars Timeline Gold.